As we all know that in any kind of MOBA game, settings are the most important thing. If you do not do the settings properly, you might face little bit of difficulties while controlling some functions of the game and can get some bad experience as well. But if you do the settings properly, definitely it will give you better and smoother experience of the game, and it can even help you to improve your gameplay. Likewise, in the Pokemon Unite, there are tons of settings. If you do those settings properly, definitely it will improve your gameplay even much more. But if you do not do the settings properly, there is a very high chance that you might face lots of difficulties while playing Pokemon Unite. But don't worry, because in this video, I will show you 10 best settings in Pokemon Unite from beginner to advanced level. And by using those settings, I can assure you it will help you to improve your gameplay even much more. By the way, if you are new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get more this type of Unite content. Now, without wasting any time, let's begin the video. In the number 1, we have the attack controls. These settings might sound like very basic and beginner level setting, but trust me, it is not. The attack control is a very important setting, no matter whether you are a new player in Pokemon Unite or an old player. You have to use the correct attack control. So, in these settings, always keep it on advanced control, because if you keep these settings on the default control, you will face lots of difficulties while playing Pokemon Unite. Let me give you an example what kind of difficulties you might get. As you can see, right now I'm attacking the Regieleki, but if I go a little bit closer to the Blaziken, I will automatically keep on attacking him. Even if I want to attack any kind of jungle monster or the Regieleki, if I press the basic attack button, I will keep on attacking the Blaziken. These kind of things becomes really problematic when you are trying to secure the Altaria against the enemy, or when you are fighting for the Rayquaza. So to solve this problem, always keep the attack control setting on the advanced control, because when you keep it on the advanced control, you will get this extra button alongside the basic attack button, and this small button is specifically designed only to attack the jungle Pokemon which is near to you. Let me show you how does it works. So right now, if I press the big button, my basic attack will automatically attack the Blaziken, but if I press the small button, my basic attack will automatically attack the Regieleki. This thing is really important when you are trying to secure the jungle objective like Altaria, Regieleki or the Rayquaza against the enemy. So always make sure to keep the attack control setting on the advanced control. Anyways, let's move on to the next setting. In the number 2, we have the camera follows moves. This setting is very important, especially if you are using a range attacker type Pokemon like Venusaur, Inteleon, Decidueye and many more Pokemon like them. So when you turn on the camera follows moves, what happens is whenever you are using any kind of range moveset like this solar beam, your screen will move wherever you slide the range moveset. For example, wherever you slide the solar beam, your screen will automatically move alongside with it. Now some of you might be wondering that what is the use of this thing? Well, when you turn on the camera follows moves, it will help you to get better vision. As you can see on the screen, when I slide the solar beam towards the Blaziken, I can easily see him. I don't need to separately slide the screen in order to get vision on Blaziken. This thing is really useful to hit the target very accurately when you are using a range moveset. But when you turn off the camera follows moves, your screen will stay still. It won't move alongside with your solar beam. Because of this, it's become difficult to get vision when you are using a range moveset. So always make sure to turn on the camera follows moves to get better vision whenever you are using any type of Pokemon which uses range moveset. Anyways, that was all about the best setting number 2. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 3, we have the opponent lock on priority. Lots of players get confused on lock on priority settings, especially the players who are new in Pokemon Unite. Well, let me explain these settings in a very simple and easy way. If you select the lowest remaining HP, according to that setting, both the HP will be same because both of them are in their 100%. But if you select the lowest remaining HP value, then both the HP won't be same because the HP value of right bar is higher than the HP value of left bar. So if you select this setting, your Pokemon attack will automatically lock on the left bar because these settings lock on the lower HP value. Even in this situation, your Pokemon will mark on the left bar. The left bar has 70% HP remaining but lower value. But if you select the lowest remaining HP percent, your Pokemon will automatically mark on the right bar because the right bar has only 50% HP remaining. Let me show it to you how does it works. So if I keep the lock on priority on lowest remaining HP percent, my basic attack will automatically mark on the bigger B because it has lower HP percentage. But if I keep the lock on priority on lowest remaining HP value, then my basic attack will automatically mark on the smaller Bs because it has lower HP value as compared to the bigger B. So among these two settings, I would always recommend you to keep it on the lowest remaining HP value. Because when you keep it on the lowest remaining HP value, your basic attack is more likely to ignore the defender and then attack the Pokemon which are squishy. Because in the team fight, you should always try to kill the damage dealer of the opposing team first. This setting is really useful when you are using any kind of Pokemon which mostly deal damage from the basic attack. By the way, in the lock on priority setting, there is one more option which is named as closest. This is totally useless, just forget about it. Anyways, that was all about the best setting number 3. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 4, we have the graphic and frame rate settings. Keeping the graphic and frame rate setting in correct way is very important, especially if you are using a low-end device, because I totally believe that not all the players in Pokemon Unite uses expensive and high-quality device. Some of them uses low-end device to play the Pokemon Unite. So if you are also using a low-end device to play Pokemon Unite, then I would recommend you to keep the graphic quality between the medium and high, or what your device is recommending. Because if you are using a low-end device and if you keep the graphic quality on the highest, then you might face heating and lagging issues. That's why you should always keep the graphic quality according to what type of device you are using. Likewise, in the frame rate setting, you can keep it according to what your device is recommending. But personally, I would recommend you to keep the frame rate on high no matter whatever type of device you are using, because the higher the frame rate is, the smoother will be your experience. Anyways, that was all about the best setting number 4. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 5, we have the Pokemon Lock On mode. This setting is very useful, especially when you are using a type of Pokemon which deals most of their damage from the basic attack, like Cinderace, Decidueye, Mewtwo, and many more Pokemon like them. So let me briefly explain you about the Lock On mode, because there might be some new players as well. When you turn on the Lock On mode, you get icons of the opposing Pokemon on the right corner of the screen. You can lock any specific target by tapping on this icon, and all of your basic attack and any kind of moveset are more likely to go towards the Pokemon which you have locked by tapping on this icon. This feature is very useful, especially in the team fight. As you can see right now, I'm tapping on the icon of Talonflame, because if I directly tap on the basic attack button, there is a very high chance that I might first attack the defender. That is why the Lock On mode is very useful, because if I try to kill the defender first, it would take lots of time in order to kill them. So always try to utilize the Lock On mode properly, especially in the team fight. Anyways, that was all about the best setting number 5. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 6, we have the camera movement and camera sensitivity. These two settings are very useful in order to get proper vision on certain Pokemon or any kind of objective. By sliding at the right corner of the screen, you can get vision of the enemy to know whether they are taking Regieleki or Rayquaza. Or when the enemies are fighting on the team fight, you can check how much HP they have left. This kind of small information plays a very essential role in Pokemon Unite. About the settings, in the camera movement, always keep it on the slide, and I would like to recommend you to keep the camera sensitivity always on the max level, because when you keep the camera sensitivity on the max level, if you slide on the screen, it will be much more faster. By the way, never ever try to keep these settings on movement panel or try to turn it off, because if you keep these settings on the movement panel, when you slide on the right corner of the screen, you will get this kind of wheel, and the reaction speed of this wheel is super slow. Even if you keep the camera sensitivity on the max level, still it will be slow. And when you turn off the camera movement, your screen won't move even if you slide on the right corner of the screen. So always make sure to keep the camera movement on the slide and camera sensitivity on the max level. Anyways, that was all about the setting number 6. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 7, we have the scoring controls. These settings might sound like a very basic and beginner level, but trust me, it is also a very important setting in order to perform better in Pokemon Unite. If you keep the scoring controls on hold button down, you have to keep on holding the scoring button until you score the goal. And between that process, even if you lift up your finger for a millisecond, it will stop the scoring process. Because of that, it's become difficult to slide the camera or keep your other moveset ready to use while scoring the goal. But if you keep the scoring controls on press button, you just have to tap on the score button once in order to start the scoring process. Because of that, you can easily slide your screen in order to check whether the enemies are approaching towards you or not. And while scoring, you can also keep your other moveset ready in order to run away from the enemy or to attack them if they come too much close to you. And that was all about the setting number 7. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 8, we have the boosted attack gauge. This setting is very informative and useful, especially when you are using Pokemons like Ceruledge, Cinderace, Dragonite, and many more Pokemon like them, which deals higher damage with the boosted basic attack. As we all know that the boosted basic attack of Ceruledge comes after doing 3 basic attack or by using some of the moveset. But right now, even if I use my basic attack for the 3 times, I cannot figure it out whether my boosted attack is ready or not. So to solve this problem, always turn on the boosted attack gauge. When you turn on the boosted attack gauge, you will see some rectangular dot below your HP bar, and those rectangular dots indicates whether your boosted basic attack is ready to trigger or not. This might be a very small information, but still it is very useful. Anyways, that was all about the setting number 8. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 9, we have the background music. Yes, you have heard it correct, it's the background music. For me personally, I find background music really useless. The background music is way too noisy and can distract you from certain sound effect. For example, as we all know that we can hear the sound effect of Dodrio if he is running near us. So right now I have turned off the background music. Try to listen carefully, you will be able to hear the Dodrio's running sound effect. Have you noticed even when the Dodrio is inside the bush, still you can hear his running sound effect? But if I turn on the background music, it will be little bit difficult for me to hear the sound effect of Dodrio's running. It's not only about the sound effect of Dodrio, there are lots of other Pokemon which also make some kind of sound effect when they release certain moveset. Not only that, the Regis and the Rayquaza also make some sound effect. So I would recommend you to always turn off the background music. Or if you love to play with background music, try to keep it little bit low. And that was all about the setting number 9. Now let's move on to the next one. Last but not the least, we have the panel placement adjustment. This setting is very important if you want to get proper grip and proper adaptation on the buttons. So in the panel placement setting, you can adjust the location of the joystick and the buttons according to what you are comfortable with, because not all the players have the same finger size. I really love this feature provided by the Pokemon Unite. By the way, you will get this panel placement adjust only when you are in the practice mode or in the battlefield. If you directly go to the settings through your profile, you won't get this panel placement adjustment setting. I'm telling you this because most of the players get confused in this thing. Anyways, that's it for today guys. So to get these kind of more informative videos, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel.